Hi everyone and welcome to another video. It has been a while as life has been very crazy, just the usual really. Everyone's going through the same stuff. There's just been a lot going on and I have been trying to journal regularly. You'll see. But in this video I thought that I would just discuss what I'm using for 2023 and do a flip through of the first quarter. Now you will see that I have a lot of blank pages. Some of them I do intend to go back and fill in. Some of them I think time has passed, it's too long, and we will we will just deal with those pages as blank pages because hey, sometimes you don't have stuff to write about, sometimes it's not exciting, sometimes life gets too busy and you don't have time, and that is a reflection of that. So what I thought that I would quickly discuss is what I am using this year. So I'm still using my 5-year HOBONICHI journal, and this one goes up until 2025, so I'll be using it until then. Now the last few years I've been using the HOBONICHI Techo in the A5, and I liked having everything in one spot. I liked having my planner and my journal all in the one book. However, it got too big. I found that the A5 pages were too big and I didn't want to downsize my planner so much. So this year I am trialing out a HOBONICHI Weeks for my planner and the A6 planner as my journal. I picked this one because I can't quite remember why I picked this one over the A6 Techo. I think it had to do with the way that the pages were laid out, but nevertheless, this is what I'm using for my planner and journal combination this year, and I'm really liking it. I've been taking this with me because it's slim, it's light, and I don't put too much stuff in it. This one I can travel with, and then this one just stays on my bench because we're nearly halfway through the year and it's already getting a bit chunky. But it's been quite nice to be able to take them where I need to. And then this one is only a new acquisition as of a couple of weeks ago. This is going to be my ink journal for the year. So I'll do a quick flip through of this as well. But I've started to really get into fountain pens and ink, so I've started to do a little collection journal of that. So I'll save that one for last because that's the newest. What we might do is start with the 5-year journal. Now, I do have full intentions of going back and decorating. I might have to do something a little bit inspired by James Burke, which is like a finish it Friday, and just pick a month in a particular year and go back, because as you're about to see, it's not just this year I'm lacking. It is multiple years, but I do have all my journals from the last couple of years, so if I don't have anything to write in there, I might just put some stickers or something for that particular section. I'm not too concerned about filling out this page for every day. I mean, there's still 5 years to come, so if I put something on this page, that's great. I'm just more concerned about writing something over here. So first of all, I've just got some vinyl stickers that I've received with orders, which I've not been too sure what to do with, so I've put them here. And I don't use these at all. So you kind of see, I'm only going to flip through to the end of March, but January is always generally pretty good because it's a new year. You want to, you know, get into it. I'm just going to do a quick flip through. I did start using like a certain color pen at the beginning of the year. You can see, but you'll see I gave up on that in the end. Sometimes I put in ephemera from things that we do or from orders that I get, just to fill up that spot. On my son's birthdays, I like to keep a little bit of the wrapping paper that they got from each year. I don't think I did it for this. Oh no, I think it was a similar paper to this. I just had these floating around on my desk, and because I'd had a bit of blue here and a bit of green here, I just put them in. And sometimes I don't need to write anything exciting. Like this day I got stung by a bee, and that was the most exciting thing that happened that day, and it hurt like all buggery, and that was the highlight of the day, really. Good or bad, it was the highlight, so that's what went in that day. Down here I wrote that I was really into a fantasy trilogy or a fantasy series at this time. Sorry, I'm a little bit nasally if you can hear that. And every year I do like to put in the Lunar New Year stamp of the year with a little bit of the mini sheet, and they always do such a nice job, the Australia Post, for the Lunar New Year stamps, and I just think it's kind of a fun little memento to put in there, and it's always on a different day of the year, so I just thought that was a little bit fun to do. And this is where I start dropping off. So this was Henry's very first day of school, so you can see I've done every single day, and then reality hit. And there was nothing. You can see even in 2022, so I'll have to go back and fill in something on those days, but this is just the reality of it right now, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. This day I saw some red-tailed cockatoos flying overhead, and they are quite a rare bird. They are my favourite bird, the black cockatoos, and I just thought that was really, really special because we do have a small congregation of black cockatoos that have travelled up from down south during the fires and have settled in the valley not far from me. So when we do see them, it is really special, and you can always tell because they have the longest black tail and they are just stunning. So I took that as a really good sign that day, and you'll see I also put it in my journal because they are my favorite bird. They are quite rare, they're not normally up this way, and I just felt that was a good sign that I was on the right path and everything was going to be okay. This day has been consistently a bad day. And then this year it was okay. So you can see I've had a consistent bad day on the 6th of February for some reason. This is the first time I did the lunar stamp. Valentine's Day, I like to put in a couple of flower petals from the bouquet that Geordie chooses. I just think it's kind of fun to see what colours he chooses every year. And yeah, generally I get them delivered at work, so that's always really, really fun. Yeah, it's just a nice little thing. I think it'll be nice to look back on and see the colours that he's picked for me. And for last year we had so much rain, I ended up using a bit of this gorgeous washi from Mick Shop nearly every day that it rained for this particular week, because this was the week that we had the floods. So I just used that to symbolise the floods, really. Down here as well. just a receipt that I got from a bookshop that day. Let's say I've done nothing. That's a good one. Oh, March seems to be where I've lost my mojo, just in general over the years. Alright, so that's up until the end of March in my 5-year journal. As you can see, there is a lot I need to go back and fill out. So I might try to do a series, like I was saying earlier, like James Burke, and do a Finish It Friday, where I might just pick a month, you know, the month of January for 2022 and go back through my journals and fill it out. But we'll see where I go with that. Now, on to, I might do my weeks first. So this one is definitely a more functional planner for me. I have actually used these for the very first time. I've just kind of highlighted out where the public holidays are and where the school holidays are, so that I am aware if I need to pre-plan any holidays or anything, I can quickly go here and see it all in one spot. At the beginning of the year, I was trying to track my healthy habits, but look, we gave up. I may go back to that, we'll see. And I started using this in December just to practice, because I'd not used a weeks before, and I did get the soft cover. I do prefer soft cover notebooks over hardcover notebooks 100%, so I did get the soft cover weeks. And I'm just using some of these dot markers, I'm sure most of you have probably seen these before, just to make dots for different events, bills, appointments, those kind of things, and it has been very, very helpful. So I'll just have a quick flick through these. This was NaNoWriMo, which is International Correspondence Writing Month, is every February, and the idea is you're supposed to write a letter or a postcard or a note to someone every day, and you can see that I only did 2 at the very end. Alright, so that's March. I'll flick through the couple in December too, because I was just kind of practicing in December just to see how I wanted to use it, and how I used it the first week is exactly how I'm using it now. I've stuck with it, done exactly the same thing. This side is kind of just for ephemera, notes, lists, things I need to do, packing lists, any extra journaling I want to do. This kind of changes every week. Like this one, I just got some different bits of ephemera in mail that I stuck in there. This one was something I decorated. So this is an ever-changing page, which is really fun. And then this is always the same, my appointments, work hours, anything I need to know, any events. So for example, this was a to-do list and then a packing list for our little weekend getaway in January. This one was quite fun. I forgot I did this. This is just like a little location of what I did that day, where I went. It was quite a long day off, but it's good. This was just some addresses of street libraries in the town that we went to. And then this was Lunar New Year week, which, like I said, I don't celebrate, but I always love the mini sheets. Like, look at that sheen to that. So I really enjoy what Australia Post does, so I always include a Lunar New Year spread in my journals. And then this is, I got some mail, so I got my new Lamy Safari fountain pen this day, which is this one, and ink, And then I just wrote down some other mail I got that day or that week. It's just a to-do list with some Australian ephemera because it was Australia Day week. Not that I celebrate Australia Day week, but I still just wanted to make a note. So it's just, I got this sticker and some Happy Mail, so I made a little reading list, and then I used a big Happy Planner sticker to make a to-do list. And this is something else I've been doing, which I've been really enjoying. Any invitations I've been getting via Facebook, so this was my cousin's hens. I've been printing out on my little Polaroid high print as a photo, and I've been putting the invitation in there, and I've been finding that that's been quite fun because it kind of gives me a visual of everything that we did instead of just writing little notes down here. And that's the end of March in that one. Now in the back of this, I have got a couple of things. So I started doing some tests with the fountain pens and inks that I've gotten, and I've put in, like, these were additional swatch cards that I'd made mistakes on, or I'd smudged, or they leaked, so I just put them in here. But I wanted to see what the swatches looked like on the Tomoe River paper, so I've done it in the back of this, and I really enjoyed it. And I've kind of done like some pen tests too. So these are all the inks that I've got so far. And then you can see this one, I was trying to see what pen and ink worked best, so I've just done that here. Tried a little splatter, it didn't quite work. This swatch in particular I love. I'm not sure if you can see that sheen there. So fun. And then, so I'm going to do that for the rest, like for a lot of this in here, and then I've kind of just got a scribble page. And then this is just where I'm keeping track of all of the mail labels that I've sent. And then this was another kind of testing page that I was doing because I dropped some ink, and this ink I've found really hard to put in a pen. I haven't found a pen for it yet. And then I was keeping track. I have been either listening to an audiobook or reading a physical book every single day, but I've not kept up with this tracker. I thought it was quite fun to see what days I was physically reading versus listening to audiobooks, but I've been so tired lately. I've pretty much just been listening to audiobooks, and then I'll have like a small spurt. So I wish I had remembered to keep up with this, but let's face it, I actually forgot. So that's fine. So that's where we're up to in my weeks. Now this is my planner, and I got this cool vinyl from a Erie Mail swap actually. The lady made that. So I've just got track of birthdays that I will need to know. I've got pen pals in one colour and friends and family in another colour. So hopefully, I mean, I've been really slack, but I do know when everyone's birthdays is. And then this one was, I was just keeping track of my my steps and my headaches and migraines, and when I was going to the acupuncturist, and junk food and all of that jazz. But as you can see, I dropped off a bit there. Now, this was an idea that I got from, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong or forget what it actually is. I think it's called Paperemi on Instagram, but she started doing like a color swatch and like a color collection of all her inks just in the months, and because they're little individual boxes, it looked really cool. So I've got my couple of browns here. I mainly only have the samples from Ferris Wheel Press because I was struggling to find a place that did samples in Australia, but I have since found them. But most of my inks are those little Ferris Wheel Press charges, but I just really like that. And then I also got some chromatography strips And I just kind of wanted to see, I was just really interested in it, so I've kind of lined them up here so you can see. And then this one's that one with that beautiful sheen, and it's such a vibrant color, but the most of the undertone is like this fluorescent pink, which I knew it had pink in it, but I was not expecting it to be that fluoro, so that's really fun. So I've kind of done the same here. I've got my greens collection. These two I did like this because they're very similar actually. But you'll see in the chromatography, this is actually yellow, not green, even though it throws green when it dries. And then these two are very similar. So these are the two greens here that looked very similar. So this one's the yellow one, and then this one is definitely a green leaning grey blue. I just found it so interesting, so interesting. And then this is the one, whoops, this is the one with the sparkle in it. So it does actually, the glitter or the shimmer lines up down the bottom, which is just so interesting to me. So anyways, that's what I've started doing for there, is just putting in some little samples so I can see. It's just something really fun. Now on the, what is this, like the month cover page, I have just written my reading lists, and then if I've finished a book, if I need to move a book over, and what I've given that book. And at the beginning of the year I was tracking what I was eating, but you know, life gets busy, so we stop things. My baby boy. And then this is when I got my new fountain pen, so I put the little label from it, and I was just testing out the ink and what I thought of the ink. And I was also doing these little doodles of book covers or audiobook covers. I got that idea from Helen of the Coffee Monsters Co. She does that occasionally in her journal, and I really like it. And then I've just kind of used a little headset or a little book deco brush image, and I've just kind of written what I've thought of at that point in time. See, this is where I started not filling it in. So another book list, and then this is the Red Tail Black Cockatoos again. This is a cutout of what I got Henry from the very first book club at school, because I used to love getting the Scholastic book clubs, so this is what I had ordered him from the first one. And then this was some new colour dot markers that I got from work. And this one is my first blank page, and you can see I've written Jane Eyre, so I finished reading Jane Eyre that day, so I was going to write something about that. I probably will go back and do that because I can doodle the cover and everything, but I've not got around to that yet. That could be, and I finish it Friday, we'll see. My first double, so this one I've got Frankenstein written down in pencil, and this one I've got that my youngest moved to the big swimming class. So same thing, I could do a collage on Frankenstein here, and this one I can actually write something about, but I need to go back and do that. And if I don't, at least I've got a note about what happened, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to stress myself over having an unfinished journal, because look, there are more important things in life, to be honest. This one I've got a note, it was Shrove Tuesday, and also I had coffee with my best friend, Beck. Yes, her name is also Beck. This one, same thing, I've just kind of written down, I've actually written down what we've eaten, so that's interesting. This one I probably will go back and do, which is the very first book club coffee. I do want to document that. Me and my new friend Sam, we kind of started it out. This one I didn't have much to write, so I just stuck a memo pad down to take up some colour, some space. And then this is the March book list, and I colour them in when I finish them. Oops. got some new pens from work that day, so I was testing those out. Henry wrote down numbers 1 to 10 and I was so proud, so I glued it in my journal. So it's me going to the bookstore rather. Henry drew me another picture. This one I've not actually got anything written down, so I don't know. And neither do these ones. So these ones will probably, if I don't have anything written in here or in my 5-year journal, then they'll probably just stay blank, to be honest. I'm not going to stress over it. I don't have the energy to stress over blank pages. And then this was another book club catch up, and then I've just put the sticker of what I bought down there as well. Went to the museum that day to see dinosaurs. Don't know if you can see, but this teeny tiny little speck down there is my son. And that's that. And then at the back of this one, I have some more. I've got like the postage costs so that I know at a glance. I don't have to look it up on the computer all the time. And then this is just also some more slips that didn't fit in my other one, or it kind of sometimes just depends on what I grab. And then this was where I was testing out some pens at our Southeast Queensland Journal Keepers meetup. We kind of passed around all the fountain pens. I really liked the Vanishing Point. To save up for that. And then this is where I was testing out some stamping and some other ink and waiting for ink to come through and seeing what worked better. Like you can see the color of this ink. This is the same ink, but it looked totally different in 2 different pens. So I was just testing what worked best. And then I was keeping track of books, movies, TV series, but I forgot about that as well. I didn't give up, I just forgot. I was doing it. Some blobs of stuff. And then I do have a little envelope here with some cards and whatnot. So that is that one. This video is becoming very long, but what I wanted to quickly show you was my ink journal as well. So it's very simple at this point in time. I've just got a little title page there. Let me move that coffee further out of the way. And I just did a currently inked, and I have acquired some more fountain pens during the month, so I have filled in that page now. And I was just writing some thoughts down on it. I won't do that every month, but because I didn't have many fountain pens, I did that here. And then I've done ink samples in their little collections. So the Ferris wheel press charges come like this, so I've done them in their collections, and I've just done the writing with the glass dip pen, and I've done some swatching. You see that shimmer there, and then the chromatography down here as well. And then I have done a little blurb and test with fountain pens if I have got that ink in a pen. So you can see here I've got 2. And I have put some stickers down just to kind of break up that bleed through on the paper, because I don't want to waste the paper. This one was interesting because the colours were all very similar, even though they were all totally different shades. And then I've just got the pens, and then what ink, color, brand, if it's got shimmer, and I've put a tick across or a blank dash if I like it or not. So this one I really like. This one is okay. These ones I both really like in here. This one's got a sheen, not a shimmer, but it's still a gold sheen. This one I really like. And then this one, which was one of my new acquisitions. I got the Carousel, Ferris wheel press Carousel pen. They're quite well priced. They're like $48 or something. They're very light, and I like a pen that's not too thick in the barrel to hold because I do have very small hands. But I really struggled to find an ink. I went through 2 inks which were okay, but not great. Like the really pale pink color here was not legible in my Hobonichi, and this one just did not show the color at all. Like you can see, this is the same ink, so this came up a really beautiful orange, but it didn't have any of that nice shading or sheen. So I've settled so far with a dark purple, which is okay. It's not fab, it's okay. And then, yeah, this will just get filled out as I acquire anything else or any ink samples or do any swaps. So that is all of my current journals, where I'm up to for the first quarter. Thank you so much for sticking around with me. I hope that you've had some inspiration, and if you have any questions about anything, please ask me in the comments below and I will get back to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. See ya.